learners, and welcome to this session on direct and indirect speech. I am Dr. Samina Azhar from the Department of English at the Bhopal School of Social Sciences. In today's session, we will be discussing direct and indirect speech. This session has been divided into two parts. In session A, we will discuss the concept of direct and indirect speech and some of the rules of changing the speech. In the next session, that is session B, we shall discuss the remaining rules of changing the speech. So now the question is, what is direct speech? Direct speech is defined as speakers' actual words. So when you use direct speech, you repeat what someone has said using exactly the same words. In the written form, direct speech is placed within pair of quotation marks or inverted commas. We use indirect speech when we want to report what someone has said without using the exact words of the speaker. In the written form, the indirect speech does not have quotation marks. Now let us take an example. Suppose a mother says to her child, "I will buy a new toy for you." And if the child wants to report it to her granny, she would say, "Mother said that she would buy a new toy for me." The first sentence is indirect speech and the reported part or the reported sentence is in indirect speech. Let us take another example. Please pay attention to the punctuation marks. The sentence is, Jane said to Peter, "I have completed my assignment." This sentence is indirect speech. We have two clauses in this sentence. The first is introductory clause and the second is subordinate clause. So the part of the sentence, Jane said to Peter, is introductory clause. "I have completed my assignment" is subordinate clause. Let us look at the verb of the introductory clause. It is said, which is in past tense, and this verb is very important when you change speech. And the verb or the tense of the subordinate clause is present perfect. This needs to be changed according to the rules. Now, suppose we change a sentence into indirect sentence, it will be, Jane told Peter that she had completed her assignment. See, said has become told, punctuation marks have been removed, and the present perfect is changed to past perfect. And the sentence is now in indirect speech. Another thing that you have to keep in mind, that it is not always necessary to include or insert that. It is optional. For example, the sentence is, Lara said, "I am happy." To change it into indirect sentence, we have Lara said she was happy or Lara said that she was happy. Both sentences are correct. Now let us discuss rules to change speech. Rules related to tenses will be discussed in this session and the remaining rules will be discussed in the next session. Before we discuss rules, let us discuss these important points. When you change a sentence from direct to indirect speech, first look at the tense of the introductory clause. Second, when the verb of the introductory clause is in past tense, this sentence is very important. You have to keep it in your mind because we will change your tense according to this sentence. So, next is remove punctuation marks, insert that if required, and change the tense of the direct speech according to the rules that we are going to discuss. Let us move to the first rule of changing direct to indirect speech. Please keep in mind the sentence, when the verb of the introductory clause is in past tense. And this sentence is applicable to all the rules of changing direct to indirect speech. So, the sentence you have on your screen is, Mary said to Peter, Jane understands the problem. So, the first step is, we look at the tense or the verb of the introductory clause. The verb is said and the tense is past. And now we will look at the tense of the subordinate clause. Jane understands the problem is in present tense. So, to change the sentence from direct to indirect speech, we will remove the punctuation marks and said will become told. Mary told Peter that, and now the simple present tense will be changed to simple past tense, and its sentence will be, Mary told Peter that Jane understood the problem. Let us move to rule number 2. When the verb of the introductory clause is in past tense, so we have the sentence, she said to him, they are fighting. They are fighting is in present continuous tense. So, to change it from direct to indirect change, we will change the present continuous to past continuous, and now the sentence in indirect form is, she told him that they were fighting. Rule number 3. When the verb of the introductory clause is in past tense, so we have the sentence, she said to me, he has given me some medicine. The tense of the subordinate clause is present perfect. Now, to change it from direct to indirect speech, we will change this present perfect tense to past perfect tense. And the sentence is, she told me that he had given her some medicine. Now, we move to rule number 4. According to the rule number 4, when the introductory verb is in past tense and the verb of the subordinate clause is present perfect continuous, we will change the present perfect continuous tense to past perfect continuous. So, if the sentence is, Samir said they have been waiting for an hour. Now, the sentence in indirect form is, Samir said that they had been waiting for an hour. So, present perfect continuous present perfect continuous tense changes to past perfect continuous tense. Next, we move to rule number 5. Applying the same statement, when the introductory verb of the introductory clause is in past tense, then the simple past tense of the subordinate clause will change to past perfect tense. So, we have sentence, she said she played golf in the morning. Now, the indirect form of this sentence is, she said that she had played golf in the morning. Simple past tense now has become past perfect tense in indirect speech. Now, the next rule, that is rule number 6. Again, applying the same thing, that when the verb of the introductory clause is in past tense, past continuous tense of direct speech will change to past perfect continuous tense. So, if you have the sentence, she told to me he was swimming in the pool, the sentence is in past continuous tense, that is, the subordinate clause is in past continuous tense. So, now the sentence in indirect speech will be, she told me that. We will remove the punctuation marks, you know that. She told me that he had been swimming in the pool. So, past continuous is now past perfect continuous tense. Thank you so much for watching. We will meet in the next part of this session.